For those of you who are new here, I'm Lydia. I'm a 26-year-old artist and it is my full-time job. I've been doing this for 8 years now. I sell on my own website as well as Etsy, and I design organizational and stationery paper goods ranging from recipe binders and tab dividers to wrapping paper, stationery, notepads, greeting cards, and other things as well. It is the first week of a new month, and that means that I have a lot of expenses due. I had a bunch of subscriptions and stuff that were paid last week at the end of February, but to start out this week, I definitely will have some invoices to pay. My rent is due. I rent a 1,400 square foot flex space, and that is my biggest piece of overhead. I'm gonna open up my email and see if there are any invoices there, and if there's any bills due. Okay, to start the week, I have a bill, an invoice from one of my printers. Some of my printers are on a single order basis, and other ones like this one, I'm billed monthly and I have a card on file with them. So my bill for all of the orders I placed with them in February was $326.87. Some of these were for myself, things like labels, new greeting cards, etc. And a few of them were dropshipped stationery orders. And then in my other inbox, I have a UPS invoice. This is not very much. I ship with UPS and USPS, but recently I have gone more to just shipping with USPS because overall the cost is lower. I still use UPS for expedited shipments and also for shipping to Canada because both are much cheaper and more reliable than USPS. So this isn't a huge bill. It's only $21.39, and I'm going to go ahead and pay it now. Alright, that's done. The next thing I'm going to do to start out the week is I'm actually just going to write my rent check. Technically it's due on the 1st, but I was out of town over the weekend and I didn't have a chance to send it before the end of the month. Gotta make sure I have the right check because a couple months ago I actually paid it out of my personal bank account by accident. So that is also done now, and the next thing I'm going to work on is processing orders for shipment. So I haven't done this in several days. I mentioned I was out of town, and my processing time is 2 to 5 days, so I do have some orders that are on the upper end of that now. I haven't shipped anything out, I think, since Wednesday, and I think I actually have a goodish amount of orders that have come in over the weekend. Orders have been pretty slow. It's typical for this time of year, but they've been slower than usual, but I do have 50 outstanding orders, so I'm very happy to see that. It seems like it was a better weekend. Just to give you an idea, I'm shipping the first one. It is a set of mini tab dividers and 2 sets of recipe cards, and that will probably weigh a pound, and it's an express order, so this is going to be shipped with UPS. But they have paid way more, so I'm actually going to send it today, and then I will refund them the difference because they paid $43.50 for this, and 2 days only $24.72. Alright, the next one is a plain set of tab dividers. This light is really bright. Oh, that's better. I'm going a little blind. The next order is just a set of standard tab dividers, and this should cost $4 or $5. $4.57. Okay, I have finished processing all of the orders that I'm shipping out today, and I have 3 drop-shipped orders. So the total number of packages I sent was 48, and the total cost was $301.54. I have those 3 drop-shipped orders, so I'm going to submit those to my printers right now. I have one for a notebook, one for a mini binder, and one for a set of personalized stationery. I'm done submitting those orders, printing, shipping labels, everything, And the notebook and the mini binder came out to $28.38 and $18.15 with shipping. The stationery will probably be around $15 with shipping, but that is one of those printers that bills me monthly, so I'm not going to include a total for that in this overall spending for my week. I think I'm done spending for the moment. I have to go to work and package up all these orders, and I don't think I'm going to need to make any more purchases, so I will probably check back with you when I am home again. I didn't get as much done at work today as I hoped I would, but that's okay. It did occur to me that there are some like ongoing expenses, reoccurring expenses that I'm not going to be like notified of them throughout the week, and that is fees. Etsy fees are anywhere from 6.5% to like 15-20% depending on whether there's advertising involved. So the way I have it set up is that Etsy fees are just taken straight out of my Etsy earnings before they're deposited into my bank account. So I think the way I'm going to handle this expense is I'm just going to run a report in Etsy at the end of the week, total up all of the fees, and then share the cost with you.
Hi, I'm calling for Noah from Dr. Valerie.
Good morning, guys. It's Tuesday, and I am just sitting down to get started on work. I have a few orders to process this morning. Let's see. I have 7 orders to process this morning, so I'm gonna work on that, and then I need to make a phone call. Okay, that's done, and the total for those 7 orders was $50.63. So now I need to make my phone call, and I have to call a lawyer this morning. Not something I thought I'd be saying, like not on my bingo card for this year. But what happened was I have an intellectual property case against another Etsy shop. So last week, a friend of mine reached out to me who's also an artist and was like, hey, another artist reached out to me because they found the shop using their artwork. And they saw some of my artwork, and when I looked at it, I saw some of your artwork, so I thought I'd let you know. And she was like, not sure if you want to like take action against them or anything, but like just doing my due diligence. And so I was like, thanks. And I looked at it, and it's a shop selling phone cases. And basically their entire shop is stolen artwork. And I found 10 or so different items using 3 of my designs. So I filed 3 cases against them, and I got a response pretty quickly. And it was like a canned response that was like, hey, we're so sorry. We didn't realize these things were copyrighted. We check all of the designs we use against the US Patent Office database, which I don't know how many artists are copyrighting every single little piece of artwork they put on the internet. It would probably be smart, yes, but there is like a natural like copyright that belongs to an artist when they create a piece of work. It's their intellectual property by default. It's not just like free for the taking because you found it on the internet and there's not a registered copyright for it. And so they were like, we took them down, which they have to. And then they were like, would you please withdraw your cases against us because it hurts our shop, boo-hoo. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, the rest of your shop is full of stolen artwork. I'm not just gonna like go on my merry way. And then I actually was on their shop again because I was showing my sister what they were doing, and I found another phone case that I hadn't seen before. So I filed a 4th case, and that must have been the straw that broke the camel's back, because I guess I could have withdrawn the cases against them, but I guess I was feeling like righteously indignant and I didn't want to do that. So they filed a counter-strike, which the audacity, because they have no grounds for filing a counter-strike. But essentially what that means is I have to file like a court action against them within 10 days, or they get to use my artwork, which is crazy. So now I have to pay a lawyer to write up a court action to send to them so that they can't steal my artwork. I have no idea how much this is going to cost. My guess, my hope is that this won't cost me more than like $250, but we'll see, because I literally have no idea.
Future Lydia here, coming in to do a voiceover to explain what I learned in this phone call, which is that a court action is not a mere cease and desist order kind of thing. It is actually suing someone, literally taking them to court, and in this case it would be federal court. And doing this has a price tag that Buzz Lightyear would love, starting from $6,000 and apparently going up to infinity. So this is obviously a course of action that I am not in a position to take. And so for the time being, I am going to be pursuing other means of protecting myself. And if anyone has been watching this thinking, this girl is delulu and obviously doesn't know anything about litigation, you would be correct. So please don't judge me too harshly. We are all learning, especially me.
So, I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to file a copyright for this piece of art if it gets reinstated, and then wait, let me back up. So, if I don't bring legal action against this shop in 10 days, they can put the artwork back up. So I need to copyright this piece of artwork with the US Patent Office, and then I guess at a future date I will be able to go against them and be like, look here, this is copyrighted, you don't get to use this anymore. So fingers crossed that works, because like also the seller is in Turkey, they're not in the US. Now I have to figure out how to file this. For some reason the lawyer I talked to said that it would cost like $500 to $800 to copyright the artwork, but I feel like that's not right. Does it cost anything to copyright a piece of artwork? There is a fee. The standard fee. Okay. I don't see anything about art, but it's not $500 to $800. It's like less than $100, so that's very doable. $65. There we go. Okay. Guess that's what I'm working on now. Registration. Register your work. Types of work. Okay, it says that I need to use Mozilla Firefox, so I'm going over there. Update, I have filed a single submission for a copyright for that one piece of artwork. It was $65. So I will definitely be doing that with more artworks in the future, and you can also upload like a group of artworks, so you can like do more for a less expensive amount of money per piece. So I'll definitely be doing that for some of the collections that I've created. I guess this is a good lesson that it is important to copyright your artworks, especially if they are selling successfully, because apparently it can cost you thousands and thousands of dollars to prove that they're yours otherwise. I'm just gonna try not let this like steal my piece the rest of the day. I have to go to work now, and I'm gonna work on packaging orders with Becca. And I think I actually owe her, she did a little work for me in February, so I think I need to collect the hours that she tracked, because we just do it on paper. And so I'll probably write a check for her for February when I get home. Howdy y'all, it's a little bit later. Went to work, got some painting done, which is really good. Becca helped me package orders today, so that was like off my plate. Came home, made dinner, got super greasy from frying steak, hence the outfit change. And now I've just been like wrapping up some different business stuff, cleaning out my inbox. And I have Becca's hours, so I need to write her a check for work for me last month. She worked 3 different days for a total of 2 hours and 59 minutes. So I'm just gonna round that up to 3 hours for simplicity's sake. So this check will be a total of $45. Checked my email, no additional invoices or expenses were paid today. So that brings today's total to, what was it earlier, 50 something, so like $160 and some cents. Okay, I was wrong about that being the last thing I would do today, because I got a utilities bill. Someone brought it in my room. Apparently it came in the mail today. I wasn't expecting this until later in the month for some reason. And I always pay this by check because there's a hefty fee to pay it by credit card online. And my total was $86.58. That's really high, but it's because I use electric heaters in the winter. So that brings the total for today to like $225, I think. All right, and that is it for today, for real this time. Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Well, happy Wednesday to me. I'm currently at my printer and I'm getting ready to pay for and pick up a moderately large order of new printed product. So I sell recipe pages, and I was just using the same printer that I use for wrapping paper and binders and everything when I started this. But the cost kept going up, and also paper is very dense, so it's very heavy and it costs a lot to ship. So on top of the cost of printing, I would have to pay like sometimes up to $500 just to ship it to me from California. I started evaluating the cost of that and researching printers in my area that I could work with, and I found one that I've been using ever since for the recipe cards, recipe pages and stuff. What I've got on order today is some of the full-size pages and then also some half-size pages. So I started offering mini binders about a year ago, and I've had enough demand to where I think there's a market for these half-size pages. So I'm here to pay for them and pick them up, and I'm going to pay by check. They have a 3% processing fee, which is like pretty standard, but they pass it on to their customers, which is understandable because I'm pretty sure that the total cost of this order is going to be valued over $5,000, and a 3% fee is like $150. So it adds up really fast. Yeah, and then I'm going to just load it up in my car and take it to the shop and unload it there. So they're little mini versions of the full-size recipe pages, and I only have one of these on hand right now because this one got returned because it was damaged, but they go in these little half-size mini binders, which for reference, this is a full-size one. So you can see, it's just a little baby. I need to see if I have the right size bags for these. These are a little too narrow. Guess I'm going to have to order some. So I need to sit down and calculate how many packages of each of these I'm going to make and how many bags I need to order. Hey guys, it's Wednesday evening now. So far today, nothing else has come up that I owe for in my business, but yesterday, actually I did have another invoice, my Gusto invoice. So Gusto is a business software subscription that I use to run payroll for my business. So my business is structured as an S Corp, and this automates the payroll, and it also takes care of all of the withholdings and taxes, and that was $46 for the month of February. So together with the invoice I paid today, that brings today's total to $3,811, which is a hefty day, but I knew that I would be doing this pickup this week, and so it's just kind of par for the course. I placed the order like a month ago, so I've been expecting to have this expense upcoming. And that's all for today. Well, hey guys, it's Friday night. And I did not film anything yesterday. The only purchase I made was a bunch of shipping labels, and I wrote down the total. And the total was $120.05. And today I only had 3 orders to fulfill that, so that was $15.62 in shipping labels. I just placed a dropshipped order for a binder, and that was $28.25. And I also placed an order for some dropship stationery, but that is another one of those ones that I'll be billed with at the end of the month. So I'm not going to count that on here. I did realize yesterday when I was at work that I was running low on some essential packaging supplies. So I just placed that order, and the total for those, for the mini mailers and the clear bags, was $36.69. The total for 3 boxes of 100 flat mailers was $186.15. And for 2 rolls of 700 square feet of small bubble wrap, the total was $95.26. But the 12 by 12 by 8 boxes was $30.76. So I'm pretty sure that completes my week of spending. I'm sorry it wasn't like a more fun, interesting week. I feel like I didn't get much footage except for me talking. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of running a business is doing the same thing over and over and over, day in and day out. There's a lot of repetitive tasks that are required to keep the business going, and even the creation of art is kind of just like a slow process. I feel like it's not very flashy on camera. So. Hey guys, Editing Lydia here. It is a couple weeks later and I'm wrapping this vlog up, and I realized I never sat down and figured out all of those Etsy fees and Shopify fees and everything for the week. I'm just gonna share like the gross and then the net, like positive just after fees and stuff, because I think it's important for people to realize just how out of hand this is getting. So my total gross sales on Etsy, just Etsy, for that week, $1,639.02. The fees that they took were $428.87, meaning that what I netted before product costs and overhead and everything was $1,210.15. So Etsy's fees effectively this week were 25%, and that includes advertising costs, but some of those advertising costs I cannot opt out of. I advertise on Etsy, I think my budget is set to $10 a day, and even if I take that out of there, it's still $358.87. It's still over 20%. When I got on Etsy in 2018, the fee schedule looked like 20 cents per listing, 3.5%, and then a 3% transaction fee. So we've gone from 6.5% to over 20%. So it's pretty frustrating when I sit down and break it down and look at it like that, because like I said, that's before cost of products, before my rent, before I get paid, before taxes, before everything. And this is one of the reasons that I am doing everything I can to drive sales away from Etsy and get off of Etsy. If you're ever shopping on Etsy, make sure you figure out if the shop has their own site and order from there, because they are a small business platform, but Etsy is not a small business, and you want to support the small business. You don't want to support Etsy, which is a publicly traded multi-billion-dollar company. Okay, I will get off my soapbox here and return to the other numbers. I also sell on Fair, which is a wholesale platform. Their fees have actually gotten better. They used to have 25% for the opening order, 25% fee. And keep in mind that this is wholesale, so I'm already selling things marked down like 50%. I'm pretty sure that I have lost money just selling wholesale generally, but it's a good way to get the word out, and it's a very small portion of what I do, so I just put up with it. But their fees have actually gotten better. Now it's 15% for all orders, including opening orders, and I think there's like a $10 fee for an opening order. But this was not an opening order. I had one order. It was for $570 worth of products. There's a payment fee, a payment processing fee of 3.5% plus 30 cents per transaction, which is a total of $20.25, plus a $15 fee, which was $85.05 for a total fee of $105.30 out of $570. Interestingly, this is still better than Etsy, but remember, this is wholesale, so I probably barely broke even on these products. And then finally we have Shopify, which is by far the best out of the three. I think my Shopify subscription is like $29 a month, and I made $408 in total sales that week on Shopify. The Shopify fee schedule is, let me double check this so I get it right. I have the basic plan. So that's 2.9% in transaction fees plus 30 cents per transaction. And when I add that all up, it means my total fees for $408 in sales was $13.46. If that had been on Etsy, that would have been closer to $100. Massive difference. If I could do all of my sales on Shopify, I would be a lot less squeezed financially. It has gotten much, much harder to make a living. I like sell all the same products. I've even raised my prices, and like when you break it all down and it transfers from gross to net, my net profits have dropped, depending on the year, anywhere from like 20 to 40 to 60% with added overhead, with these crazy fees rising constantly, the rising cost of goods as well, just like raw goods, especially paper inflation trickle down has been very, very real. So yeah. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready for the grand total? First of all, I grossed $2,617.02 in this week, and my grand total expenses between everything, rent, fees, overhead, new products, shipping expenses, was $6,550.11. So this week I am solidly in the red. And if it weren't for that big order of printed products, I would be much closer to breaking even. But even then, I would still not have made a profit this week. And I have to say that is pretty common. Like many other businesses, my business is making the bulk of its money in the last few months of the year, primarily in November and December. And there have been years, multiple years. In fact, it's quite common that I am in the red until October or even later. It's not the way I'd like it to be, but this is kind of just the pattern. It's investing a lot at the beginning of the year, and then you get to the end of the year and you've already made all your investments, you have all your product, it's all packaged up and ready to go, and then you make like 50% of your sales in the last 2 months of the year, and boom, you have a profit. So not the funnest way to run a business, not the most secure feeling seeing these kind of numbers, but I think it's actually extremely common and realistic. And honestly, not even big businesses are turning that big of a profit. I had a year recently where I just about broke even once I paid myself, and I was feeling pretty bad about it. And then I heard that the company my dad works for had like a 2% profit margin, and I was like, man, if a huge international company is not able to turn more than 2% profit, like I should not be beating myself up that badly. Like all my expenses are paid. I have capital that I can put back into my business if I need to. There's nothing else to do. I suppose I could like make a lot of effort to get sales the rest of the year, but that would probably require me to invest even more money into things like advertising, and like I've said, wholesale has not really proved to be a profitable option. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I post a variety of different types of content, some about business, some are just lifestyle and vlogs. If you're new here and you're not familiar with my shop, it's linked below. It's called The Illustrated Life. Just leave a comment and say hi if you're new. I'm so grateful that you've taken the time to watch this video, and I hope it's been like informative and like enjoyable. Maybe you're looking into starting a business and you're kind of wondering what goes into it. Maybe you're a fellow business owner and you're just curious what it's like for other people. So yeah, leave a comment, say hi, and let me know what you think. I'll see you next time.